There's no place like the Qube. Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment. This is a big week for me. I am truly full of so much gratitude, so let me give you the rundown, okay? On Tuesday, I get inducted into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. That is going to be a moment, okay? On Wednesday, our next Qube original podcast drops. It's called Second Sunday. Second Sunday is about Black queer folks finding, keeping, and sometimes losing faith. I think y'all gonna really love it. Then on Thursday, I'll be in New York City for the live event celebrating not only our Second Sunday podcast, but our PRX Big Questions cohort. Yes, indeed. Then Saturday, it's our 10th annual Purple Tie Affair concert and silent auction. You've been hearing me talk about it. Y'all, this is all in 1 week. It's gonna be amazing. So if you're interested in following my journey, follow me at Anna DeShawn. It don't matter what social platform, okay? And if you're in Chicago, come join us at the Purple Tie. We're gonna have a party. I ain't gonna have no energy for nothing else other than the party, okay? Not in Chicago, you can participate in our silent auction. This year, we are giving back to One Roof Chicago. One Roof Chicago is an initiative to build a welcoming and inclusive intergenerational community for older LGBTQ adults and younger LGBTQ folks most in need of affirming housing, meaningful connection, and career development. Now, if you enjoy what you hear in this episode, consider joining the QCrew. I want to welcome Douglas, one of our newest members, okay? The QCrew is our queer news community. Your recurring monthly donation helps to supplement the cost of this podcast hosting, editing, marketing, PR, travel, all the things, okay? If you believe in the work we do, if you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, if you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, join the QCrew. A link is in the show notes. Now, for the news. I launched our queer news tip line on TikTok last week, and we got our first story out of Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you, Jay, for the state, for letting us know that Kansas City is now a safe haven for trans folks. Also in Missouri, a trans teen was crowned homecoming queen, and you know they didn't like that. A judge in Texas has declared their drag ban unconstitutional, okay? Big Freedia launches an eyewear line, and this new film called Mutt is making waves. I'll be back after the break with all the news, okay? Let's go.
I'm Darren.
And I'm Esther.
And this is Second Sunday, a podcast about Black queer folk finding, keeping, and sometimes losing faith.
This season's full of candid conversations. We're talking to theologians, artists, activists, and community members living at the intersections of faith, spirituality, and identity.
The Saints ain't ready for this,
but we're still going to talk about it.
Second Sunday starts October 4th. Find it wherever you get podcasts.
Second Sunday is a Qube original podcast and is part of the PRX Big Questions project.
Family, have you been listening to Rebound Revolution? I play the promo on the pod every single week. It is your not-so-basketball podcast. Yes, it is. And guess what? It's up for a Signal Award for Best LGBTQ Podcast. And now we need you to vote. The link is in the show notes. And help us win Best LGBTQ Podcast. It is so good. If you haven't listened, go listen. That link is in the show notes too.
You are now tuned in to higher frequencies. We do this frequently. Turn your radio station to E3 for that decency. Listen to great music and the latest movement. Safe listening for anyone that's tuned in. Who you waking up to? Anna DeShawn, QCrew and friends. It's that real talk. Online radio with the spins. You caught up in traffic, frustrated. Just check in with E3 to shift your vibrations and get elevated. That's queer radio done right. Choose to be yourself. That's the only way to live life, and that's how it's done here. Just know y'all tuned in to the greatest. Ain't no competition. We ain't worried about the other stations. Check.
So that's right. I've started a queer news tip line because I know there is so much news happening out here in the world and in our communities that never make it to a blog, that never make it to a news outlet. I'm hosting the tip line on TikTok, so chime in if you got a story you'd like me to report on, okay? This week, we have our first listener-generated story, and it's from J for the Stay. And it's about Kansas City, Missouri. It turns out, back in May, Kansas City City Council approved a resolution making the city a safe haven for trans residents. Mayor Quentin Lucas was proud to sign it, and he said, "For decades, Kansas City has been at the forefront of our region, ensuring we have equality for all, and we will continue to do everything in our power to fight for equal rights for all in our city, no matter what happens at our state capitol." Come on, Mayor Lucas. I'm here for this. And we love to see it. And this is a big move because Missouri is a red state led by a Republican governor and a Republican GOP-controlled legislature, okay? And as someone who lives in Chicago, the Midwest around us is red. Illinois is red. It is these urban pockets, these cities that are blue. And so I love to see when cities stand up against the state, okay? Because the state of Missouri has introduced and passed a number of anti-trans bills, and they've banned gender-affirming care. But thanks to this Democratic leadership in Kansas City, they are now a sanctuary city. And let me just say that the resolution passed 12-1. This was not a close vote. You can go there, and those seeking gender-affirming care are protected, and those providing gender-affirming care are protected. Now, when I was looking for other stories to report on this week, guess what popped up? A story out of Kansas City. Now, recently, the young people of Oak Park High School voted Tristan Young to be their homecoming queen. Tristan is a transgender girl who is clearly beloved by her community. And you already know, of course you know, there were parents who had a problem. And the right-wing trolls on the social medias went about doing what they do. But I love the response of the school district. They said, "Our students voted for this year's king and queen. The role of the school and/or district is to honor our students' voice and decision." Period, okay? And that's exactly what they did. This type of thing doesn't happen without a political and cultural environment of support. You see how these two stories are connected? I love to see it. Way to go, Kansas City. In more political news, a Texas judge has ruled that the legislation banning drag shows is unconstitutional in Texas. According to The Independent, Judge Hittner said that the law, quote, impermissibly infringes on the First Amendment and chills free speech, and will irreparably harm drag performers and LGBTQ plus groups and venues that host them. He went on to say, not all people will like or condone certain performances. This is no different than a person's opinion on certain comedy genres or music. But that alone does not strip First Amendment protection. Come on, Judge Hittner, let them know. I love using big words on the show like impermissibly, okay? Irreparably. You know, this is at the core of it. Here's to the First Amendment. I am so glad to see these drag bans being overturned state by state. There was just no reason to target drag shows. Drag shows weren't harming nobody. It was only to fuel the right-wing hate and fear-mongering campaign. And their hate campaign, it's been working. But we have been working too, okay? And let's be clear, when we talk about Governor DeSantis in Florida, we ought to be talking about Governor Abbott in Texas and their Attorney General Ken Paxton too, because they are just as bad. This is one drag ban down, okay? And so many more to go. Now, this is a good time for us to take a little break. And when we get back, I got some culture and entertainment news for you, all right? So stay close. Attention, family. Are you a business owner? If so, are you ready to conquer your industry? Then I need you to tap into Focal Point Business Coach Dulcee Long. Dulcee's personalized coaching will ignite your leadership skills and guide you to exceptional results. You know why? Because she's got the blueprint. And because you're listening here on Queer News, she's offering you a free, yes, I said free, coaching session. and 50% off your first month of coaching. Visit mybusinesscoachesn.com. Don't settle for ordinary when extraordinary is in reach. Come on, visit mybusinesscoachesn.com and connect with Dulcee today. Hey, I'm Anna.
And I'm Adele.
And this is the Head Nod, Season 1, Black Life at a PWI.
It's an unfiltered take on Black life in predominantly white spaces.
In the process, we learned some things. Ooh, especially that music, Chile.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Welcome back, family. Now let's jump into some culture and entertainment news. We love us some Big Freedia around here. Y'all love Big Freedia? Do you love Big Freedia? I love Big Freedia. And she's dropped a new eyewear line called Shade. Of course it's called Shade. It's a collaboration between Eye Candy Creations and Big Freedia. And she's got 3 signature shades: Vera, Josephine, and Love. Big Freedia says, "My new line of eyewear is inspired by my childhood on Josephine Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, the home where I learned all of life's lessons and developed the lens through which I see the world." Yes, indeed. And these shades are cute too, okay? They bold and full of color. They definitely say Big Freedia. Okay, all the confidence, all the style. They blinging all over the place. They cute. I might just have to go get me a pair. Go check them out, family. I think I might actually get a pair. Don't tell my wife, though, because she sell eyewear, too, okay? That's between me and you. For our last story today, I want to tell you about a new film called Mutt. Yes, Mutt, M-U-T-T. Now, Mutt is a coming-of-age story about a trans man moving throughout New York City and navigating these complicated relationships in a never-ending day. Through the film, the lead character, Fina, encounters his ex-boyfriend, younger sister, and estranged father child. Ooh, that's enough for a lifetime, let alone one day in New York City. The film rocked at Sundance, and now you can rent or purchase it on Amazon. I'll be checking it out this week, and you should too. Now, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and October also kicks off LGBTQ History Month, so I'd be remiss if we didn't honor some of our community's Latinx icons, okay? So today, we celebrate Julio Salgado. Julio is the co-founder of Dreamers Adrift and the migrant storytelling manager for the Center for Cultural Power. His status as an undocumented queer activist has fueled the contents of his visual art, which depict key individuals and moments of the DREAM Act and the migrant rights movement. Undocumented students, organizers, and allies across the country have used Julio's artwork to call attention to the migrant rights movement. Salgado is also the co-creator of the Disruptors Fellowship, a program at the Center for Cultural Power for emerging television writers of color who identify as trans and/or non-binary, disabled, undocumented, formerly undocumented immigrants. His work has been displayed at the Oakland Museum, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, and the Smithsonian. Julio, we see you, we celebrate you, and thank you for your work. Now, y'all know we got to close out with a word because Anna's always got a word, and I want to give y'all some Monday motivation. This quote comes from Michael Eli, and he says, "Hey, I know it's Monday, but it's also a new day and a new week. And in that lies a new opportunity for something special to happen. Family, leave some space and give yourself a window for the magic to actually happen. Till next week, peace." If you enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Experience J of Just Listen Media. And brought to you by E3 Radio, your #1 queer radio station playing queer music and reporting on queer news in high rotation.